Rodney's Northwest Ride and Reviews. Today, got something really exciting. So as you can see here, I've got my ECU from Twisted Development just showed up. I'm going to kind of talk about the ECU for just a moment. One of the things, and I'm going to show you what we're dealing with here. So I have a 2023 KTM 450SXF factory edition. I think I've got about 4 hours on the bike now. And so the two maps that come on it, I think everybody's kind of mentioned, they're a little soft on the bottom. And I have a 2022 YZ450F that obviously has a lot more hit on the bottom, and then it revs a lot quicker. And I kind of missed that. And so that's what I'm hoping to accomplish, is get a little quicker revving out of the bike, less engine braking, because it does have a lot of engine braking, and then just kind of more power all the way around. So I'm going to do a cold start on the bike, and I say cold start, I have already started it just for a couple minutes. So I'm going to let you just kind of listen to the bike for a moment, and then I'm going to put the new ECU in and let you hear that as well. Alright, I'm going to put the new ECU in and let you hear that. I did install the new ECU. I did set the TPS, and the way you do that is you hold the kill button, and then without turning the throttle at all, you just hit your start button, let it crank over a few times, release it, and then you want to hold your throttle wide open, and then hit your kill button and hit the start button, let it crank over for a few times, and that sets the throttle positioning sensor. So I've done that, so now let's go ahead and start it up. So it does sound like it revs a little quicker, or idles a little higher, I should say. And the engine just sounds a little freer now, so I'm going to get suited up here, and we're going to go out and ride and try it out, and I'll kind of give you some, kind of tell you along the way, what I'm feeling. So I've got it set right now where it has the mapping they did for me is set up for the woods, as you can see. But the first map is going to be the map that they've designed. It's got more power, more torque everywhere. And then I have also put in there another map. It's the OEM map, it's the #1 map that comes with the bike. And so I'm gonna toggle back and forth to kind of feel the differences and kind of tell you guys what I'm feeling at that time. So let's go for a ride. Okay, so let's stop here for a second, just so I can talk. So I just put the Vortex ECU in. Shut this off for a second. So Vortex ECU, so what they do is, and keep in mind, this is from Twisted Development. This is not just a standard Vortex ECU. And the Vortex ECU that you can get at like Tokyo Mods comes straight from Vortex with pre-mapped maps in it. Jamie Ellis at Twisted Development actually mapped this for me, and he designed it for the woods. What I was not liking about the standard mapping on the bike is that it felt a little soft on the bottom, and so I wanted something a little more on the bottom. I wanted less engine braking, and I wanted something that was a little quicker revving. So what I have in here right now, the first map, which is going to be the top or white map, is going to be the map that Jamie's designed, and so it's got more power, more torque everywhere. What I put in here to kind of compare is the green map is now the OEM map that came with the bike, and that's the first map, so what used to be the white map. So it hit a little bit harder than the green map did, came straight from the factory, and so I can tell already that the white map is already hitting harder. It's got more power, more torque. I can feel that already. Less engine braking. So the white map had quite a bit of engine braking straight from the factory. And so now this has less engine braking. So I've already accomplished what I wanted to. But I'm going to hit a couple trails here. Keep in mind, it's pretty muddy today. So I'm going to hit a couple trails. I'm going to kind of tell you what I'm feeling as I'm going. And then we can kind of do some comparisons here. So Thanks for watching. Okay, so currently I've got it in the green map. I'm going to switch back to the white map. Jamie map for me. I'm having to kind of stick to the gravel trails. It's too muddy right now. Alright, so on that trail, I feel a lot more roll-on power than what the white OEM map is. And so we're going to go do the same trail, but now we'll do it with the white OEM map. So the white OEM map seems to rev out pretty well, but it doesn't have the power and torque for sure. Yeah, definitely don't have the torque. And definitely don't have the roll-on power like the new map has. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. So, like I said, the new map, less engine braking, more power, more torque everywhere throughout the rev range. And the funny thing is that the white map from the OEM or the OEM map had more low end than what the green map did to begin with. So this is definitely better all the way around. So one thing I will mention is that even though it has more power, it's not unmanageable. And that was one of the things that when I first rode the bike, it almost seemed like the white map that came, the OEM map, was too, just kind of wanted to lunge forward all the time. And so coming through corners, when you're riding in the woods and stuff, trying to pick your lines, it definitely made it harder. Okay, so that was the white OEM map. So I'm going to do the same thing now. So considerably less engine braking. So that's all good. Okay, so this is the aggressive map that he designed for me, and I'm not sure if it's more than the number 1 or less. I'm assuming it's going to be less. Okay, so that was the aggressive map, and what it feels like to me is that it's probably the first map, and maybe he's added a little ignition to it, because it seems like it picks up the revs quicker. I like that map though. Now granted, it's probably not a great map for out here because it's so muddy, but I like it. So all right, so I'm going to go try now and see if the traction control is still working with the maps he's designed for me, so stay tuned. Okay, so now I'm back in the one map, or white map, and I've got traction control on. Okay, so traction control is definitely working. So good. Everything still works like it's supposed to. I love the maps. Like I said, I do apologize. This is not the great test for it because it's so dang muddy. But it is definitely far more aggressive. But not in an aggressive sense where it's too much to manage. And that's what I like about it. So let me talk about this bike for just a moment. So 2023 KTM 450SXF. I have done the KYB spring fork conversion. I've had M9 suspension and Redmond revalve everything. They did the back shock. I am waiting. They didn't have it in time, but we're going to do the bladder kit for that. I put on FCP motor mounts or engine mounts. So you got a titanium bolt up front, gives you better traction. Because the frame is more rigid, and I say this sparingly, and I say that for a reason. Everybody talks about how stiff it is, and I'm sure when it's brand new, and keep in mind I have 4.6 hours on it now, but they say when they're brand new, up to about 8 to 10 hours, they're really rigid, really stiff. And so when I put the new suspension on, that probably helped take away a lot of that rigidity. But the FCP mounts also help with that. And so it probably absorbs more of the impact than what the other mounts did. So anyway, I have it set up for riding in the woods. It's revalved for the woods. I really like the suspension. I wasn't happy with the way the bike was riding. And so it felt like it was too soft on the bottom. It didn't rev as near as fast as what my YZ did, and I see that my chain is kind of stretched out there a little bit. I need to readjust that. But anyway, it didn't rev near as quick, and so I put in the twin air power flow kit thinking that that was going to make the big difference, and it helped a little bit, but it still didn't give it everything that I was looking for. Well, the ECU from Vortex, there at Twisted Development, that did. So it's kind of rounded out the whole package now. So it's got the Akrapovich, just the slip-on, but man, it is aggressive. It is a lot of roll-on power, a lot less engine braking than what it had, and it's almost like the perfect package now. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, any comments, go ahead and send them my way. I am going to make a backup to what I said before. So you can get an ECU, the Vortex ECU, from other companies, and I'm going to use Tokyo Mods as an example. They had it for about $250 less than what I could get it through Twisted Development. The one big difference is that the maps that are on the Vortex ECU from Tokyo Mods have been pre-mapped from the factory, and so it has absolutely nothing to do with your type of riding. It's just what they found through all the different developmental teams, what they thought would be the best maps. Well, obviously riding out here in the woods, those maps are not going to really pertain to me. Now, I do like the more aggressive map. I like the roll-on power, so they might not be that far different. But like I said, Jamie has developed this mapping for me, and so I do appreciate that. And to me, it was worth spending an extra $250. So anyway, thanks again. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, any comments, send them my way. And it's kind of been a bike build along the way. And so if you guys like what you see and like to see some more trails and stuff, go on ahead and like and subscribe. Thanks again.